Hi everyone, I'm excited to be sharing Spellbinder's new collection Metamorphosis designed by Simon Hurley. This card features stained glass window and everyday sentiments. And if you have a stash of glitter like I do, blow off the dust because this technique will use some of it up. Started off with a panel of cardstock measuring 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches, and I'm using my widest double-sided tape to cover it up completely. I'm making sure as I apply each strip that it is butting up right against the one that I laid before it. Now if you have sheet adhesive, which I am out of, this actually would work better. This adhesive is going to hold the glitter, and what I found that those lines that are between the adhesive strips will show through. I have a remedy for this, but it's one extra step that could be avoided. I chose glitter rather than glitter paper because I wanted to create a beautiful gradient. Fine glitter would work best for this technique, and I start off by putting a good amount of the dark blue at the bottom of my panel and then use my fingertips to rub it in. As I'm rubbing it in, I stay away from the top of the glitter. Some of it is going to catch on the adhesive, but some adhesive will be exposed when I add the next color, creating a gradient. The mid blue is overlapped slightly onto the dark blue. To try to contain some of the mess, I shake the glitter onto a coffee filter, and that actually makes it easier to get it back into the bottle. And then I finish up the panel with the lightest of the 3 blues. Again, it will overlap onto the mid blue, and I give it a good rub. And as you can see, those lines of the adhesive strips are showing. I sandwiched the panel between a folded piece of copy paper and ran it through my die cutter. And it did get rid of the lines, that's for sure, but I had a hard time peeling the paper off of the glitter side of the panel. So when I was working on the sentiment, I ran it through the die cutter again, but this time I sandwiched it between a piece of wax paper, and that worked perfectly. I then used the outline die for the stained glass window to cut out the panel, and believe me, that glitter isn't going anywhere. There's absolutely no fallout. The stained glass window detail die was used to cut black cardstock, and it looks striking against that glitter background. The window was then adhered to an A2 size black card base. The same process was repeated on a much smaller scale so I could have a gradient sentiment. The glitter is laid down in the same order in narrow strips until I have the adhesive completely covered. Because I had to work so hard to peel the paper off of the glitter when I ran it through the die cutting machine for the panel, this time I used wax paper and it just peeled away like nothing. The sentiment really looks pretty. It's so sparkly. And it's ready to sit on a shadow die cut of black cardstock. To help the sentiment stand out just a little bit more from that sparkly background, I've also die cut some black sheet foam and stacked the sentiment on it. Beautiful white iridescent confetti are adhered to all of the circle details on the stained glass window. To give them a jewel-like appearance, they're all going to be finished off with Nuvo Crystal Drops Morning Dew. This is the second card that I made, but this time it's on an ink-blended background using Distress Oxide inks, Picked Raspberry, Villainous Potion, and Uncharted Mariner. Stained glass windows and everyday sentiments are part of a beautiful new collection by Spellbinders. Whether you choose ink blending or making your own gradient of glitter paper, this is a fast and easy project to undertake with a beautiful result. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I appreciate your visit.